There's a bit of mystery surrounding wine tasting. You see people swirling wine in their glass, and when they put their nose in to smell the aromas, they talk about things that just seem impossible at times. You know, foreign things like gooseberry, wet stone, and even worse, sweaty tennis balls. But most of the time, you hear the same old descriptions. Doesn't matter what wine it is, people say, oh, I taste sour cherry, vanilla, tobacco, chocolate. If you listen to most experts, they can be a real turnoff when they talk about what they smell and what they taste. It really takes away the joy of tasting wine, if you ask me. Actually, they turn the most pleasing thing in the world, drinking wine, and turn it into this exhausting exercise for the tongue and nasal passages. It's so grotesque, to be honest with you. In this video, I'm going to share with you a new way of tasting wine that will help you think less and enjoy more. There are only 3 steps to doing it. The first 2 involve smelling and tasting in a way that rejects everything you see the experts and wine snobs doing. Forget them. The third step is the most important, and yet almost no one ever talks about it. So if you really want to take your wine tasting experiences to the next level, the third part is essential. So make sure you stick around and watch this video all the way to the end. Which reminds me, make sure you subscribe to Gladiator Wine TV so you don't miss out on anything important. Step 1, smell your wine. The first thing you want to do is take your wine glass, swirl it around a few times to get the aromas to pop out of the glass. Then go in for a relaxing smell, like you would as if you were to smell a flower in the garden. The first question to ask yourself is, can I smell anything? It doesn't matter what you smell. It just matters if you can smell something at this point that's coming out of the wine. If you still don't smell anything, that's probably because the wine doesn't have much of an aroma. Not a big deal. The second question is to ask yourself, does it smell good or bad? Sometimes you know you like the smell right away, and sometimes you're not so sure. So feel free to go back again and again to smell. If you don't like the smell, you don't like it. After a few sips, relax, go back, swirl the glass again, and ask yourself if you can smell anything and if it smells good to you. If the answer is yes, just enjoy the moment. If you have a good bottle of wine, the aromas should intensify while the wine breathes, and you might find that you're enjoying the perfumes more and more while you drink it. When you have a great wine, the smelling part should be just as pleasing as the tasting part. So now we're at step 2, taste the wine. Now with the tasting part, you're going to do the same thing, except you're just going to get straight to the point. Ask yourself, does it taste good or bad? Some wines, you're going to be sure immediately on the first sip that you love it, while other wines might taste weird or even foreign, at least at first. And so when that happens, don't assume the wine is bad or that it's not your style. Sometimes new flavors grow on you, and they can grow on you really fast, like in 2 glasses worth. When that happens, you'll discover something new about wine while learning something new about yourself and how your palate is broadening. And in fact, our tasting preferences sort of change as we age, and that's why it's important to taste new wines. Never judge the first sip. Take some time to get to know your wine. Wines change after you pop the cork and you let them breathe. Wine's always in a constant state of change. You might find that a wine tastes much better by the time you've had a couple glasses. And that's not because you're drunk. It's because the wine is literally getting better. So don't be quick to judge a wine on the first sip. You don't have to decide so quickly. Are you ready for the third step? It's the secret step. The real secret to enjoying wine tasting even more is the story in the bottle. When a wine has a story, it becomes part of the conversation at your dinner table or while relaxing on your sofa. And when a great bottle of wine has a great story, the way you taste that wine will naturally change. It becomes more personable, more connectable, and sometimes those foreign flavors become more relatable when the wine has a good story to tell. A wine with no story is probably a wine unworthy of your time. So don't overthink what you're smelling and tasting. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the good life.